What nonsense! You spoiled the entire shot. We are shooting for Incredible India. This stretch of road is known as Dual Avenue. It has a rich history. He will narrate. Duel means a contest with weapons. Both of us are unarmed though. Let's go that way. Ridiculous. Kolkata, you indeed are a blessed and charmed land. You're the birthplace of all that's new. You discarded your native ways to adopt the blighty style. In this pursuit, the quintessential Bengali Babu soon turned a pauper. Overpowered by dreams of becoming wealthy overnight, they left their homes and travelled to Kolkata. The bullock cart of Kumar has been replaced by the raging four-wheelers huffing and puffing at red and green signals. Shutanuti, Gobindupur and Kolkata were three villages that have expanded and combined to create what we call Kolkata. Lives and lifestyles have changed and so have habits. The rice and fish curry, a constant feature, now coexists with the continental cocktail. Nolin Gur has joined hands with caramel chocolates. From the bland chow mein to the all-time and all-season favorite momo. From the sheer ecstasy, only kebabs can spawn to the notes of boundless joy created by the omelette. Kolkata proudly exhibits the vibrant presence of all. The dingy lanes of this city are treasure troves of stories. Stories worth drooling over. You were saying something about Dual Avenue, weren't you?
Way back in the 18th century, Catherine Grant was a person whose beauty left the city dumbstruck. Sir Philip Francis, a very famous man of this era, fell in love with her. But there was one more person, Warren Hastings.
Who was the Governor General?
Yes. Left with little choice, Sir Philip Francis challenged Warren Hastings to an armed duel. And the duel was fought on this road. Sir Francis was injured in this duel and with no hope went back to Europe.
And then?
But the story wasn't over. Sir Francis went back and dug up some dirt on Hastings and an impeachment motion was initiated.
Okay.
Which was probably the longest running impeachment trial in the history. It ran for a long time, almost 7 years. Apparently, it took them 4 days to read out the charges. That's how the road got its name, Dual Avenue. A famous duel, Calcutta history, and an ethereally beautiful lady.
This road is next to Alipur bodyguard lines.
Correct.
Dual Avenue is the name of this road. By the way, if we had to place ourselves in their shoes, who'd play Francis and who would be Hastings?
I think we need to go to the High Court.
Well, we hardly have the time for that. Let's settle it over the fabled breakfast at Frres.
That's a better idea.
Foodka Season 7 shall narrate the tales of Kolkata. Stories where the food and humans of this city are intricately intertwined. But are these tales concerning Kolkata's humans all about love? Or is it also about the fantastic wars? This city is no stranger to such tussles. Let bygones be bygones, but the timeline of Kolkata wasn't restricted to the bygone days. It soon stepped into an era of enchantment. A magnificent hotel sprung up in this city where music and celebration were the main themes. And this shall take us through those myriad avenues of a story where the age-old heritage of this city embraces the vibrant newness. This place in Kolkata has unbelievably colourful tales to tell. Frida and Joseph were a Swiss couple whose yarns of romance and love were stuff of legends back then. In 1920, they decided to start a tea house where they could showcase their favourite food items for the residents of this city. At the heart of this restaurant, storms and teacups rage on. Seats arranged by the glass windows give a beautiful sight. Possibly India's only nightclub singer dressed in a regal Kanjivaram sari. Independent India's first nightclub. A bar where beef and pork rub shoulders to build, strengthen and mend bridges between bosom friends. A pub that is the veritable paradise for Kolkata's rock music lovers. Any discussion about Kolkata's changing face cannot be complete without meandering through this stretch of road. A place that's regarded by many as Kolkata's intellectual capital. Come, let's join India Tourism as Foodka Season 7 takes you through the changing face of Kolkata in this episode.
Cheers.
Think breakfast, think Flores. You won't find a more iconic location in Kolkata than Flores. Strategically located in the heart of Park Street, on one hand there's Incredible India and on the other Incredible Flores. So it's Foodka and his nephew yet again, and laid out in front of me is the English breakfast. Now before I describe the spread, I'll make you sing a song.
Okay.
बोलो तो झूमो
तो झूम
तो नाचो
तो नाचो
आओ मेरे साथ नाचो गाओ
गाओ
I am a disco dancer
disco dancer
I am a disco dancer
I am a disco dancer.
Why did I make you sing?
Why should I know?
This song was sung by Vijay Benedict, and this is Egg Benedict. Sorry, that's how I introduce my favorite items, and these items are extremely popular. But if you want to delve into the facts behind the food, Foodka is the boss. So please.
It's a century-old story. Towards the later half of 19th century, the dish was discovered as an antidote to an American's shocking overhang. The gentleman probably gulped down one too many at a party in New York. The very next morning, he visited the hotel and placed an order for toasted bread coated with crisp bacon. He also asked the hotel to add some poached egg and hollandaise sauce. Now, I don't know how the American reacted to the dish. The chef, Chef Chirki, he thought the dish would do well and it would be appreciated. He substituted the toast with some muffin, and that's how the famous Egg Benedict was born.
And the dish we're about to taste, along with this Egg Benedict, is the special English breakfast that has a poached egg, the one you call sunny side up, made with 2 eggs. Keeping them company are tomatoes, chicken sausages, and mushroom. And these are potatoes. What do you call this preparation?
Fried potatoes,
Fried
a cousin
potato.
of Bengal's aloo bhaja from foreign shores.
Aloo bhaja. Okay, but this has a specific name. I can't quite recall the name. Hash brown, yes. Hash brown with baked beans, fresh fruits, and you have your Egg Benedict. And of course, our watermelon juice. Cheers.
Cold pressed juice.
Flores is very much a part of Kolkata's rich tradition. Incredible India has brought us here today for our breakfast. This place is nothing short of a landmark. Flores has a lot of stories around and about it, but we aren't the right persons to narrate those stories.
No,
There's a popular slogan, Sabka Saath, Sabka Vikas. And on that note, let's invite Executive Chef Vikas Kumar. Vikas ji,
when you think Calcutta or when you think Kolkata, Flores is synonymous.
Yes.
This is a brand which people have grown up with. And how do you associate with the legacy?
Now, we've been very lucky in having an extremely loyal set of patrons, and the ones who have associated with Flores for years. And I think the consistency in our product, in our overall positioning, and in our overall product, including the service and the food and everything else that we get, it gives a certain kind of confidence to the patrons or to our customers to keep coming back to us and already know what they would expect and that it would not change.
Coming to the food, it's had a strong British influence.
Yes.
Things have changed over the last 10 years. You've been at the helm of affairs regarding that. What did you perceive when you were kind of making those small changes in the entire thing?
Well, like everything else, and I've been very lucky to be able to travel quite a bit and to see what's been happening in the world and in our country. And obviously there are changes where people now want their food lighter, people want their food with less calories, less sugar. We started with a jogger's breakfast where we supplemented everything that was a component of the normal English breakfast with the healthier stuff.
Someone comes in from a different part of the country and takes back a ribbon as a memento. This is the legacy, this is the culture behind Flores. Chef Vikas Kumar, thank you so much for speaking to Foodka. Incredible India, incredible Flores. Much as your coffee is going cold with the conversation we just had, the warmth of Flores is everlasting and it goes with the spirit of Calcutta/Kolkata.
we have one more story, and that's around these 2 delicious items. cream rolls and rum balls. If you don't taste the rum ball at Flurys, you're actually missing out on the entire world.
This rumble looks small, but the world's biggest rumble was made in Denmark.
Mhm.
How big do you think that can be? Take a guess.
This big.
31 kilos.
31 kilos. 31 kilos.
World's biggest rum ball. But this cream roll has a more interesting story. There used to be a painter named Claude Lorrain, and this story is of late 17th century. While he was a great artist, Claude Lorrain was really about cooking. There's a dish named puff pastry and it comes wrapped in a crusty shell. Many believe it comes from baklava from Middle East, but whatever it may be, the bottom line is that Lorrain came a cropper while cooking. He didn't mix butter when it was needed, layers couldn't take shape, the shell turned into a hardened mess. Legend says that the cream roll was a product of that day. Cream roll was essentially a British delicacy. It's quite old. It's a major throwback from our school days. Remember how we used to carry them in tiffin?
Yeah.
They had several names, cream rolls, cream horns. Flurys, however, serves it in a different avatar. Maybe a DIY cream roll? As you can see, that's how it crumbles. There's chocolate stuffing inside and a new avatar.
English breakfast along with American breakfast, then there's the Spanish breakfast. The variety this place offers is simply outstanding. However, for the sake of first-timers at Flurys, the guys who've missed out a lot, Foodka presents his recommendations and pocket pinch.
We recommend the full English breakfast, and what they serve is enough for probably one person. Egg Benedict, the one we are feasting on. Now cream roll, have it the way you want. Regular cream, chocolate cream, just have your pick. Then there's the rum ball. When we leave the rest to you. The Viennese coffee at Flurys is one of my favorites, so I'll suggest that as well. And pocket pinch for two people, given the ambience, it's around 1,500.
Yes, but here's a tip. Be prudent while choosing your food items here. Because just one of their dishes is good enough to fill your stomach. It's that filling and very healthy too. Your choice will find a match here. And you'll be spoiled for choice at the incredible Flurys, and we're shooting for Incredible India.
So when we look at Taj Bengal, it began, the hotel started 31 years ago, way back in 1989. And it was looking to fulfill the hopes and the aspirations which it perceived of Calcutta, which was the capital of the East, still is the capital of the East, and is a gateway to Eastern India. Sensing the requirements of the future needs of the city, the hotel was built, and at that time when it opened, with its multifarious offerings, both in terms of rooms and in terms of the restaurants and the other facilities, it was looking to a new, vibrant, emerging aspiration of the people of the city. So the Taj Bengal, in fact, IHCL, Taj as a whole, has always believed in relationships. And this is a people-to-people connect that we establish and we nurture over the years. We have several examples of not only the first generation getting married with us, but even their children coming and getting married in our banquet halls, our guests coming in for generations, for decades, coming back to us time and again and have stood the test of time. And we are the preferred venue and option whenever there are these special moments that people wish to celebrate in their lives.
I don't think I need to introduce the magnificent monument just behind us. If you love India, if you love the city of Kolkata, that introduction bit becomes completely unnecessary. However, there's one introduction that we need to make. Today, Foodka and his nephew have a very special guest with them. Deputy Director General and Regional Director East, Ministry of Tourism, Government of India, Mr. Shagnik Chaudhary. Welcome to Foodka. Let's shake hands on that. Thank you so much. It's such a pleasure to be associated with the Ministry of Tourism. The ministry has a vision, and I'd request you to share that vision with the viewers of Foodka.
মিনিস্ট্রি অফ ট্যুরিজমের ভিশন অবশ্যই রয়েছে, তবে ভিশনটাকে আমি শর্ট টার্ম, মিডিয়াম টার্ম এবং লং টার্ম ভিশন হিসেবে বলবো।
আসুন একটা লং ওয়াক নিয়ে নিই।
হ্যাঁ, শর্ট টার্ম ভিশন হিসেবে আমরা ডোমেস্টিক ট্যুরিজমের ওপর খুব কনসেন্ট্রেট করছি ইন দ্য মিড প্যান্ডেমিক, পোস্ট প্যান্ডেমিক সিনারিও। 2021 has already been declared as the year of domestic tourism.
Right.
এবং আমরা সবাই জানি যে অনারেবল প্রাইম মিনিস্টার গত বছর from the ramparts of Red Fort on the occasion of Independence Day has urged all citizens of India to travel to at least 15 destinations, Indian destinations in a span of 3 years by 2022. Keeping this as our backdrop, we have launched a scheme called the Dekho Apna Desh scheme, where we are providing information, we are sensitizing, educating our potential tourists with regard to destinations, products and services that India has to offer to them. India stays inside. Post-COVID scenario, this has become very important from the international perspective. Amra Indians urge korchi, jotodin na it is safe to travel outside, প্লিজ স্টে ইনসাইড।
মানে দেশটাকেই ভালো করে দেখা হয়ে উঠলো না অনেকেই, অ্যাকচুয়ালি আমাদের অনেক জায়গায় ঘোরা হয়নি এখনো, আর আমাদের গোটা দেশটা এত সুন্দর যে এরকম বহু জায়গা রয়েছে যার লিস্ট করে শেষ হবে না।
রবীন্দ্রনাথ বলে গেছিলেন না, দেখা হয় নাই চক্ষু মেলিয়া,
একদম
ঘর হতে শুধু 2 পা ফেলিয়া, সেই ব্যাপার। আর মিডিয়াম টার্মে আপনাকে বলি যে মিডিয়াম টার্মে ইন্ডিয়া aims to bring at least 10% of the global tourist traffic to India.
Oh, great.
So right now we are well on our path. We have crossed 1%, 2%. We are progressing steadily. So let's say in a span of 5 to 7 years, we aim to bridge that gap, and 10% of global tourist traffic should travel to India. Long term, of course, needless to say, India has to be the top global destination for the tourist, global tourist. So vision bolte ei for the Ministry of Tourism.
একটা কথা বলুন মিস্টার চৌধুরী, এই মিনিস্ট্রি, what do you think of Kolkata as a destination?
Not only the Ministry of Tourism, but the whole world looks at Kolkata as not only perhaps a destination, but a melting pot, a confluence of so many cultures. Over its history of the last 350 odd years, Kolkata has witnessed the arrival and departure of the British, the Portuguese, the French, the Danish, the Armenians, the Jews. So it's truly a melting pot of international culture, and all these cultures, when they have been cooked in this melting pot, it has emanated today, emerged as something that is unique, something that we call perhaps the Kolkata culture or the Calcutta culture. Not only people from overseas, but also from within our country. If we look at the history of the city, the Marwadis, people from Bihar, the people from the southern part of the country, we have a huge Tamil presence over here. We have people Malayali presence is humongous. Absolutely, and people from all parts, all nooks and corners of the country have come here. And Kolkata is truly a megapolis, a very, very cosmopolitan city in that sense. Apart from this, Kolkata, it is perhaps a little lesser known, but Kolkata is also very, very important from the Buddhist, the revival of Buddhism perspective. Kolkata has seen the revival of Buddhism by the Venerable Anagarika Dharmapala, who was the founder of the Mahabodhi Society. And this has happened some 100 years back, and that has taken Buddhism to a different level altogether. Not many
Indian museum দেখি প্রচুর relics রয়েছে।
Indian museum maximum number of Buddhist relics রয়েছে. In fact, a part of the body of the Lord is there, and people from Buddhist devotees from all parts of the world visit Kolkata for that. এছাড়াও আমরা যদি দেখি তাহলে the architecture of the city, the Jewish synagogue, the Armenian church,
ব্রিটিশ আর্কিটেকচারের তো একটা
নিদর্শন আমাদের সামনেই রয়েছে, আমরা সেটা
আমরা দেখতে
এক্স্যাক্টলি। অ্যান্ড দ্য কালচার্স, যেরকম চাইনিজ কালীবাড়ি যেখানে নুডলস সার্ভ করা হয় অ্যাজ প্রসাদ, এই ব্যাপারগুলো তো ইউনিক, এগুলো তো আর কোথাও দেখতে পাওয়া যায় না। সো কনফ্লুয়েন্স অফ কালচার, ডেস্টিনেশন বা অ্যান এক্সপিরিয়েন্স ইন ইটসেলফ, people from all parts of the world would come here to experience this.
And while we discuss the cultural aspect of Calcutta, দুপুর হয়ে এসছে, এখন সব থেকে দরকারি কালচার হচ্ছে কালিনারি কালচার।
Absolutely.
তো
আমরা এখানে এসেছিলাম ব্রেকফাস্ট করে, আমরা ফ্লুরিজে ভরপেট ব্রেকফাস্ট করেছিলাম। তারপর ভেবেছিলাম বোধহয় আমাদের খিদে ফিদে খুব একটা কিছু পাবে না, কিন্তু এত অ্যাপেটাইজিং গল্প হচ্ছে এই মুহূর্তে শাগনিক চৌধুরীর সঙ্গে যে উই হ্যাভ টু ইনভাইট ইউ ফর লাঞ্চ। সো কাছেই পার্ক স্ট্রিট, কোথায় খাবেন বলুন?
Let's go to an iconic place, Mokambo.
Mokambo it is. Kolkata has so many of these food joints that combine heritage and modernity so beautifully. Shagnik, I believe that even an entire year will not be enough for a food trotter to cover these restaurants. For instance, our special tryst with Mokambo for lunch today. Please, fish manure and deviled crab. Foodka has already started his gastronomical ride with prawn cocktail, and this is a very interesting dish. Very good. Now, Shagnik has been an angel. He's been guiding us very well. So we were talking about the Ministry of Tourism's vision a little while ago. This journey from Calcutta to Kolkata, what do you think about this journey?
Calcutta to Kolkata has been a metamorphosis over a period of what, 350 years.
Yeah.
কিন্তু আমরা এখন একটা ক্যাম্পেইন রান করছি, যেটার কথা আমি আগেও বলছিলাম আপনাকে, যেটার নাম হচ্ছে দেখো আপনার দেশ। অ্যাজ আ ক্যালকাটান, কলকাতার শহরবাসী হিসেবে আমরা নিজেদের শহরটাকে কতটা চিনি, কতটা ঘুরেছি, কতটা দেখেছি, কতটা এক্সপিরিয়েন্স করেছি, কখনো কখনো থমকে দাঁড়িয়ে এই প্রশ্নটা নিজেকে করতে ইচ্ছে করে যে আজকে যে আমি মোকাম্বোতে এসেছি, এর আগে আমি কতবার মোকাম্বোতে এসেছি, মোকাম্বোর নাম হয়তো ছোটোবেলার থেকে শুনে আসছি, কিন্তু মোকাম্বোর স্পেশালিটি কী, হোয়াট ইজ মোকাম্বো নোন ফর, মোকাম্বো কী ছিল, আজ কী হয়েছে, দিস ট্রান্সফরমেশন ওভার দ্য ইয়ার্স।
In fact, Foodka, this road, this locality, this is basically the Manhattan of the East. Kolkata's Park Street. And by Park Street, what we gather from a culinary point of view, it's basically a paradise. So let's hear about Mokambo from Foodka.
Mokambo is a very interesting place. The restaurant, as we see today, is a fine dining restaurant where you get Kolkata's own British colonial European food. It isn't probably British or French. The food here has the aroma, that identity of Kolkata. Now, there is a story. It's said that this was probably independent India's first nightclub. A German architect, an Italian pianist, and a French lady singer. Probably it was the lady singer who probably made this place popular. And while we are at Mokambo, we cannot and must not forget the stories of two more restaurants. One is Skyroom. The restaurant downed its shutters before I became an adult. I remember visiting Skyroom with my father when I was a child. That, according to many, was the finest fine dining continental restaurant. Even now, at least in the memories of many, it continues to be the finest of its kind. The cutlery and crockery were silver, starry ceiling. A meal at Skyroom was nothing short of a celebration. There used to be a dessert trolley. Blue Fox was another interesting and attractive joint of the time. Blue Fox, Skyroom and Mokambo formed what could be called the golden triangle of Indo-continental cuisine. Now we have Pita Cat, barbecue. Now, these are good places. And along with them, we have Mokambo.
আসলে দেখবেন কলকাতাটা যেভাবে ইভলভ করেছে, অনেক আইকনিক জায়গা এখন আর নেই, মানে আমরা মিস করি। ফিরপোজ ইজ অ্যান এক্সাম্পল, ঠিক, ফিরপোজ আজকে আর নেই। আর আরেকভাবে দেখতে গেলে আজকে কলকাতার বুকে আমরা যেরকম বেঙ্গলি কুইজিনের এত রেস্টুরেন্টস দেখছি, এইটা কি আজ থেকে 20 বছর আগেও চিন্তা করা যেত যে পশ্চিমবঙ্গের রাজধানী কলকাতার বুকে বেঙ্গলি কুইজিনের রেস্টুরেন্ট এবং তার বাইরে লোকে লাইন করে দাঁড়িয়ে আছে টেবিল পাওয়ার জন্য? ইট ইজ রিয়েলি বিন আ জার্নি। আই মিন, কলকাতায় এসে লোকে বেঙ্গলি কুইজিন খাচ্ছে, এবং কলকাতার শহরবাসী বাঙালি বেরিয়ে বেঙ্গলি কুইজিন রেস্টুরেন্টে খাচ্ছে. This has been the coming of age of this city.
Bengali fine dining restaurants where you can have homely food, particularly the ones on the verge of extinction, is in a premium ambience. The ones you cannot cook or eat at home, rush, the demands of our time, that's really something.
Park Street was originally famous as the locality of the Sahibs. You'll find food of every known variety here. Even street food. We've showcased Park Street's roll shops on Foodka earlier. We've also featured the biryani shops in this area. So, for every pocket, for every palate, the only city that can serve food for all is Kolkata or Calcutta. Doesn't matter how you pronounce it. By the way, how much would a diner have to spend for a meal at Mocambo?
A full course meal for two without alcohol would cost you somewhere around 1,000. Now that depends on a few factors. It might cost slightly more if you go for a prawn-based meal, but under normal things, two people can have a good meal for around $1,000. I'll mention few of my favorites. Your choice might be different. Prawn cocktail, Bhetki Munir, fish diner. They're good with the chicken ala Kiev, the dish where this butter comes out. And for desserts, I will strongly recommend baked Alaska. But we're going there.
This lunch with Shagnik made me realize, and that realization makes me emphasize upon a point, that it's an incredible country. Incredible India and one of its incredible states named West Bengal. And to complete this circle, an incredible city named Kolkata. This city has blessed a lot of people with life and livelihood. And the road on which this restaurant Mocambo stands, that very road gives you food options where the pocket pinch ranges from 1,000 for two to a modest $100 for two. All the options coexist harmoniously. So it suits every palate, every pocket, and that's the beauty of Kolkata. A human might be horribly off-tune and might be musically challenged. But every Bengali is aware of one specific tune, and that's la 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 la. This is unmissable. If you can identify this tune, you're a true Bengali. And you, no matter where you come from, eternally love this place, the Indian Coffee House. The place you see us in is actually a confluence center. This can act as a meeting room, a conference hall. There's so many discussions floating around. Somebody is writing a new book, someone else is composing a poem, some other person is thinking hard to overcome a writer's block. And then there are the lovebirds, and among their tribe, a few trying to get over a breakup. Everything put together, it's a place where one table may have 4 jobless friends engaging in idle gossip, and the table next to them could be hosting 4 prominent writers. And nobody meddles in anybody's business because that's the way things are here at the Indian Coffee House.
I'm not going into the history of coffee house. It can be Googled, Wikipedia, and has been written extensively in magazines. But what I will talk about is Kolkata's book market, which probably is Asia's one of the largest second-hand book markets. Majority of little magazines started from here. Literary magazines, literary movement. The Hungry Generation movement, in fact, started from this place. Great personalities like Satyajit Ray, Aparna Sen, Mrinal Sen, Ritik Ghatak would visit this place quite often. As my nephew or Bhaipo said, those who need food for thought, those seek directions, members of the young generation, even they come here. And as far as the food is concerned, the first and foremost in my favorites is the chicken sandwich. The sandwich here is not stuffed with mayonnaise, cheese, salad, lettuce. Non-grilled breads with butter as adhesive binding chicken and black pepper. That's it. Pocket pinch is very nominal. A cup of coffee is around $30 and chicken sandwich around 70-75. You can share your coffee house stories, your memories associated with this place in the comment section below. You know that, right? And we are all ears for your interesting stories.
And of course, like, share and subscribe to the Foodka channel on YouTube, and do press the bell icon to get the latest updates on Foodka.